students, so for today I will just give you a brief discussion and explanation on what you will do for your home-based learning there at home about the topic
whole numbers. But for this week, we will focus on the third objective, which is to round numbers to the nearest 10, 100, and 1000. So let us start. Okay, so let's have the first example in estimating and rounding numbers. So we're going to estimate the position of 2,400, 6,500, and 9,000 on the number line which is given here below. Okay, now this number line is actually from 0 to 100, 10,000, sorry. Now, so the first thing I need to do is to divide, okay, so this number line from 0 to 10,000 into 10 equal parts. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so there you go. So it is divided now into 10 equal parts. Now, so every line, okay, from the first line after the 0 is actually represents 1,000 now. Okay, so it is actually increasing by 1,000. So since the number line is from 0 to 10,000 and then we divided it into 10 equal parts. So it means that the first line here represents 1,000, the second one is 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and so on. Now, since the halfway of 0 and 10,000 is 5,000, so halfway is, it means exactly the middle number between the two given numbers. So it means that 0 between 0 and 10,000, so that is exactly 5,000. So that is the halfway, okay, between these two numbers. So how to get the halfway? So you just add 0 plus 10,000, that will be 10,000, and then divide it by 2, so exactly 5,000. So that is the halfway. Okay, now we can estimate now the position of the first number, which is 2,400. Now 2,400 is basically near the halfway of 2,000 and 3,000, which is 2,500. So since this one is 2,000 here, and then you have 3,000, and then the halfway is 2,500, so we could estimate the position of 2,500 is around in here. Okay, so that is the estimated position of 2,400. Okay, what about 6,500? So 6,500 is exactly the halfway between 6,000 and 7,000. So we could say that the position of this number is between these two lines, right? Because this one represents 6,000 and then this one is 7,000. So halfway between these two numbers is 6,500. Okay, 9,000 of course exactly in here, right? On the ninth line after 0. So this one represents 9,000. Okay, so that is how to estimate the position of those three numbers, okay, given this number line in here. Okay, let's do the second examples. Now the second examples are just review of how are you going to round numbers to the nearest 10, nearest 100, and nearest 1000. Okay, now let's just review first a reference digit. Okay, now if the reference digit in rounding numbers is what you learned before when you were in E5 and E4, right? If the digit or the reference digit is actually 0 to 4, we call it's a round down, right? So it means you don't have to add on that place value by 1, okay? But if the reference digit is actually 5 to 9, okay, so you need to add 1. So that's the time that you need to add 1. Okay, so let's have the first example in here. So this number 6,789, if you round it to the nearest 10, it means you have to locate first the tens place value, which is 8, right? So you have 8 in here. So because you're going to round it to the nearest 10. Now the reference digit is actually the ones place value. Reference digit is actually the digit on its right, okay, which is the ones place value. So since 9 is round up, right? So it is a round up. So you have to add 1, okay? So to the tens place value. So that will be 9. And then the rest of the place values on the right side will become 0, right? So that will be 6,790, okay, rounding to the nearest 10. Now rounding to the nearest 100, so since the digit 7 is on hundreds place, so the reference digit will be the tens place value, which is 8 in here. It's still round off, right? So you have to add now to the hundreds place value, so that is plus 1, and then the rest of the digits on the right, which is the tens and the ones place value, will become 0. So that will be 6,800. Nearest thousand, so you have to look at on the thousands place value, which is 6. The reference digit will be the hundreds place, which is 7. Just still round up, right? So it means you have to add 1 then, okay, to the thousands place value. So that will be 7,000. Okay, so basically that is the easiest method in rounding numbers to the nearest 10, 100, and 1000. Okay, let's do the second example. Now, for the second example, 2,345 rounding to the nearest 10. Okay, so that will be 2,350. Rounding to the nearest 100, so that will be 2,300. Okay, why is it 2,300? Because the hundreds place is 3, and then the reference digit, which is on the tens place value, is only 4. So it's round down, right? So no need to add 1 to the hundreds place value. So that is only 2,300. Okay, rounding to the nearest thousand, so same thing. So since the thousands place here is digit 2, but the reference digit is the hundreds place, so it's round down, so no need to add 1 on the thousands place. So it's nearer to 2,000. So rounding this number to the nearest thousand, that is 2,000. Okay, now try to do the third number, the 9,876. Try to round it to the nearest 10, 100, and 1,000. Alright, now if your answer is, okay, rounding the number to the nearest 10, okay, is 9,880, okay, you are perfectly correct. Okay, rounding to the nearest 100, okay, the same number. If your answer is 9,900, okay, it means you've understood how to round it to the nearest 100, so it is correct. Now, if your answer is 10,000 to rounding it to the nearest 1,000, okay, you're absolutely correct. Why is it 10,000 here? You have to round it to the nearest 1,000, so the thousands place here is digit 9, but the reference digit is the 100 place. So you have to add 1, right, on the thousands place. So that's why the answer there is 10,000. Okay, so those are the rules on rounding numbers to the nearest 10, 100, and 1,000. Now it's your turn now. So I want you to do what to do now for today's home-based learning. So try to do the let's learn together. So there are several examples presented also on your pupils book. So for your let's learn together. So try to read and study again those examples from numbers 1 to 6, and then right after that try to do the let's practice numbers 1 to 6.
That's all for today. I'll see you again next week. Have a great day and keep safe, everyone.